Welcome to a TRE session. Here, getting into it, and I didn't tremor at all yesterday, so there's some built up. Got hip movements first, side to side movements with the spine, and this is a long one. And just doing mostly a general surrender approach, as I call it, letting the body tremor where and how it wants to tremor without targeting my attention anywhere specific. This, while you're still in the first 6 months, even maybe a year. I see my tongue sticking out a bit. In the first 6 months to a year, the general surrender approach is what I recommend. Your body knows the order in which to unwind things, and we don't necessarily want to go out of order too much. Also, we just don't need to. If we understand TRE well, and we have the long-term strategy of undoing all tension from our body from the past, then there's no need to rush. Or rather, it's not about rushing, there's no need to put extra effort or thinking into it. Trust the body to do what it does, and our job is to just surrender and get better at entering our consciousness into the body. So here you see occasionally I am opening my mouth. Unfortunately, you can't see my head very well because of the camera, but the yawns are coming, and I've been tensing my mouth a bit recently, inside my mouth, and my tongue has been getting some tension, and my face and in my head. Here the shoulders are coming up. There's a vocalization happening there. When you see that I don't breathe for a while, it's probably me vocalizing. Yeah, good yawns. Now the speed has ramped up here to about 4x. If you'd like to see it real time, go ahead and click shift and comma to slow it down, and shift period to speed it up again. Got side to side movements here, switching between my hips, one hip going slightly up, the other going slightly down, and then alternating rapidly. Alternating between that and, as you see here, where my hips are pretty still, but my spine, the thoracic spine, the lumbar spine, is going side to side. And in here, ooh, big one, going up and down, that's arching the back and then curving the pelvis in slightly. This happens a lot for me, where it's the tensing of the erector spinae muscles, the big muscles of the back on either side of the spine. And I'd say my back has straightened out significantly. I used to have an anterior pelvic tilt with a slight lordosis in the lumbar spine. That's where it kind of like sticking your butt out a bit. And my back has flattened out quite a bit from my TRE experience. Opened up the rib cage as well. So I made a point today on the long-term TRE subreddit forum about vocalizing, and how, to me, it's the number one tool in your TRE practice to break up a freeze state. And it's not really a tool, it's something that naturally can happen, just like any other movement in TRE, but we often block it so much that it takes a while for the throat, the vocalizing to open up. And in my opinion, it's perhaps the only thing I believe that we can benefit from bringing in early in our TRE practice for everyone. Some people especially so. If your voice was habitually suppressed as a kid, typically in school, also in family for sure. If your expression was suppressed, and then you definitely have trauma in tension related to opening the voice. So it really facilitates the flow of tremors and energy to open the mouth, and at first force some vocalizations out, because that's often necessary to get it open. You know, when you maybe first turn on a water spigot, it's stuck and you got to use a lot of force. Once it opens, or like opening up a plastic lid to a bottle, use a lot of force at the beginning to open it, and then you can spin it with a lot less effort to finish, to opening it all the way. So the voice is like that. So for example, like and then riding that out until you run out of air. That's how I do it. And then oftentimes you won't need to breathe in heavily with an inhale. You relax the nervous system so much by getting that that you can sit there in the breathless state for quite a while afterward. And it's really like water running out of an opening. You really let it pour out. This isn't some forced cathartic scream. That's not what I'm recommending personally. For someone who's very suppressed in their voice, and a lot of us are if we haven't worked with it at all, if we're not super advanced in our self-awareness, emotional unrepression journey, then this is appropriate if you wish. I don't think it's necessary, but there certainly are a lot of workshops, events dedicated to catharsis and screaming and anger releasing, and I've done some of that, and it was somewhat beneficial, but I also didn't know about TRE. TRE can involve catharsis as a consequence of starting to release tension, but I'm not a huge proponent of cathartic regimens in general that are too explosive, and I can unpack that in a future video, or if you have any questions about that, feel free to comment and I'll be happy to expand on it in a future video. And here I turn off the camera and continue to integrate. Wishing y'all really well. See ya.